Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Rustabout Collector here. Y'all remember ATTACKTIX? Do you remember that? Do you remember these guys? The little blaster dart shooting guys like that? Because I do, and I had a couple of these guys growing up, but I always thought these guys were just cool. They're kind of stylized, they're kind of cartoony, they're a bit ridiculous with their oversized blasters, and the game seemed sort of fun. So I tracked down a huge lot of figures of ATTACKTIX, and I'm hoping that I will be able to finally play a full game of the game. Play a game of ATTACKTIX, you know? I don't know if many people actually played this game as kids or if they just collected the figurines, but either way, let's get into it. So for those that may not know, ATTACKTIX is like a turn-based tabletop game. You have these little wheels on the bottom of the characters that click, so you can hear that. That clicks as it's going along the table, so you kind of, just like that. That determines your movement, you know, how many clicks that you get per turn. Then you can try and shoot the darts at enemy players to knock them over. Knocking them over eliminates them, and there's other compounding rules, of course, but that's the basic premise of the game. But really, as a kid, the only thing I cared about was that there were clone troopers, and this is one of the few toys that I still have from my childhood, and it's the Clone Commander. I remember buying a sleeve of ATTACKTIX. They came in like a cardboard tube. You got 3 mystery figures. You know, it was maybe like 10 bucks. I don't even know if it was that much. Maybe it was like 7, but you know, I was like, oh man, I just hope, like, fingers crossed, let me please get a clone trooper. And I got like a bike scout first, and then I think I got Padme, like pregnant Padme with a blaster. Kind of ridiculous. And then I pulled out this guy, the Clone Commander, which, I mean, technically this is a 327th clone trooper, but for the sake of this little thing here, it's a Clone Commander with a Confederation logo. He's apparently part of the Separatists. He's a traitor. It's, you know, this game came out in 2005. There wasn't a lot of like dedicated lore. There was a lot of confusion over ranks and stuff, and what you'll find out through this haul, as well as some of my videos talking about concept clone troopers that I've done on the channel, I'll try and mark them up here in the corner. You know, ATTACKTIX actually made quite a few concept clone troopers into characters. Like, we get Commander Gree in his concept armor, we get Commander Bly as Devis, we get I can't even remember all of them. We get the Utapau Trooper as a blue clone lieutenant. Like, just really weird concept clone troopers get turned into ATTACKTIX because it was very early production when these were made. And that's just a fun little tidbit, a fun little history of these characters being made. And I personally I get a kick out of that. That's another reason to love this line. It's quirky, it's weird, it didn't last very long, but I'm really excited to have these. So of course, starting out, we have the Stormtrooper. Nothing special. He's got some weathering on his boots. Maybe he's from Tatooine or something. Maybe he just stepped in some spaghetti. Who knows? That's the first one. And a lot of these, I'm just going to breeze through because there's some that I just don't really care about. You know, it's good to have more of these than less of these. That way you can have more to choose from. You can have bigger battles, etc. So, you know, we have a super battle droid. He's got this like giant cannon strapped to his gun, and yeah, that he's a super battle droid. That's pretty cool. On the bottom, if he dies and this little square is white, you get a free move and attack from one of your other droid army figures. That's cool. Next up, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's the other cool thing, is that some of these figures have like close quarters attacks rather than missiles. So a lot of the Jedi characters and the Sith characters have like a slashing maneuver. You pull them back while holding the base and then let go. So if you have the Stormtrooper there and Obi-Wan's coming up like this, bam, that's a good strike right there. So it's pretty unique. Just the variety of characters that you get mixed with the variety of their attacks. It's cool. They're ATTACKTIX, if you will. Speaking of melee characters, now we have the General Grievous Bodyguard, and he's the same thing. He's got like a spring action, which seems kind of weak. Oh, there we go. I was pushing him the wrong way. There we go. He's got a good swing there. He's got some big clubs there, but he's a little bit more close quarters. You see, he's got a stronger spring, but a shorter like swing base, you know, that staff doesn't reach as far. So everything here is kind of like give and take with which characters you choose. And also a lot of these are horribly yellowed because they used hard plastic. So you can see here, oddly enough, like one half of this end is yellowed, this bottom half is yellowed, and the top is perfectly fine. That's just part of the mystery of the yellowing plastic, I guess. But yeah, you know, it's a Magna Guard. It's a Grievous bodyguard. That's cool. Next up, we have the Wookie Scout. This is a Wookie. It is a scout. He's got a blaster. I don't think he can even stand up on his own. Like, maybe he can. He just seems so super like front heavy with this blaster. Like, I don't know. I guess he can. So never mind. It just seemed like this was too front heavy, too oblong up front, and he would fall over. But I guess that does make him more defensible if he gets shot from the front and he gets tipped back. This is actually going to like counterweight him back down, so that's cool, I guess. Next up, we have our first clone trooper, this being just a clone trooper. Once again, though, he's got the Confederation emblem there, which is very strange. I don't understand it. I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah, there's a clone trooper. He's yellowed as well, but it's no big deal. Next up, we have everyone's favorite action character, Bail Organa. Yeah, you know, they made some really weird choices with some of their characters, and also with their production. It's interesting that there's just a seam running through his cape like that, but yeah, Bail Organa, we all remember him as like that really, really awesome action hero character with the blaster, and he just came in and, you know, started blasting all the Magna Guards. It's you know, it's a little gimmicky, but they had to get as many characters as they possibly could. I'd have been fine if they just made nothing but clone troopers and droids. Like, that would have been cool with me, but guess they got to appeal to a wide audience and give us characters like Bail. Next, another super battle droid. Nothing new there, just a good army builder for the ATTACKTIX game. Next up, we have the Sand Trooper, and I absolutely love that they gave him like a cartoonized version of the long blaster that the Sand Troopers carry. It's quite curious. You know, they try and take those blaster designs and then morph them to fit giant darts. And I'm guessing the scope is the release, right? Right? Yeah, you push down the scope and it fires the dart. That's cool. That's neat. That actually is a slight improvement over the giant red button that most of these just have there. So that's actually kind of cool. They tucked it away, they hid it away, and yeah, there you go. Sand Trooper. He's got the big old backpack. He's got the pauldron and everything. Sand Troopers. And more duplicates. Just another Wookie Scout. This one doesn't stand up. I don't know why. How does that work? Where's the science? Can Neil deGrasse Tyson please explain to me how this works? Where one falls over, even with the dart in. Like, I didn't notice that was just. I don't understand this. This is witchcraft. I have to say, this is witchcraft. One of them is perfectly balanced. The other one falls over, but they are identical in everything. One of them I'm not going to play with because you'd lose. You'd instantly lose that character just because he decides he wants to take a nap mid-game. So that's interesting. I don't understand that, but there you go. Another clone trooper. Not going to complain about that because I love me some troopers. So that's cool. Ooh, this one is actually pretty sweet. This is a Wookie Commando. I guess basically just like a Wookiee warrior that we saw in Revenge of the Sith, you know, with the crest and everything. Cool shoulder-mounted cannon with the larger dart style with like these prongs and stuff. He's cool. I don't know. Well, nothing much to say about him. He's a cool Wookiee character. I suppose you could actually do, if you had enough of them, you could do like Wookiees versus CIS or Wookiees and clones versus CIS, and you could pick your army that way. There's a lot of really fun possibilities with this ATTACKTIX game. Pulling out another handful, I guess I'm excited to announce that I have 2 Bail Organa figures. Gotta take a deep breath because I could get too excited about this, having 2 Bail Organa figures. And then we have Chewbacca with a giant hand, and apparently no spring unless he's backhanding people. That seems backwards, quite literally. Like, the spring doesn't work this way. Like, he doesn't swing this way, but he springs that way. Okay, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he's broken, but there's Chewbacca. And then we have Agan Kohler, of all things. I do like that they did some more obscure Jedi. That's definitely a nice touch. Agan Kohler with his slash attack. That's pretty sweet. Next up, we have really our first concept art trooper. We have the V-Wing pilot. And we've never seen this design in the movie, but we do see it in some concept art. It's also what the Lego figures are based off of, what the Lego like clone pilots from Revenge of the Sith are based off of. So that's pretty cool, actually. I like the design. It's very TIE Pilot-ish. And, you know, yeah, he also has the Confederacy logo. I don't understand. We get this guy. He's a clone trooper. He has the Republic symbol. This guy has the Confederacy. This clone trooper, identical to this one, has the Confederacy logo. It doesn't make any sense, but it's very nice to see the concept art realized into a figure. Even though I would have preferred it to be, you know, a 3 3/4 inch posable figure, it's still cool as an ATTACKTIX. Reaching my hand in once again, we have a battle droid. Just a battle droid. Nothing really special there. Cool, you know, more army builders. We can do some Clone Wars battles between droids and clones. And then we have a clone pilot with the correct base logo. Finally, he's got the Republic logo. Just a recast of the V-Wing pilot and unfortunately missing a blaster. But this is, I think, what may have been meant to fly the ARC 170s. And these guys were, as the base suggests, the V-Wing pilots. It's interesting. We never saw that in actual canon, but it's kind of curious to think about what some of the early production like thought process was with the clone designs. At this point, I will say my goal is to collect one of every variation of the clone troopers from the ATTACKTIX. You know, it's kind of difficult to collect one of every like 3 3/4 inch clone trooper, but ATTACKTIX feels very doable. I think I can reasonably get every single one. Not necessarily like every unique base, but every unique paint app for these. Because I know they did like 442nd, 212th. They did obviously like the Yellow Commander. They did various figures like that. So, you know, I think I can do that. I've already got a good start here with a regular clone and 2 of the pilots. Next up, we have another one of the goofy gimmick figures. We have Anakin Skywalker with his giant force push arm here. This is actually a rocket, you know. It's big. It doesn't have as much range. That's kind of like the whole point of these being like close range, almost like a shotgun blast, given how large they are. These are more precision, and of course the blades are like super close quarters, so each character has kind of a drawback and a bonus or an area that they are most effective in, and this is a really cool shiny base version. I don't know what significance that is. I think the shiny base versions came in specific packs, like multi-packs, not just like the mystery packs. I could be wrong about that, but I think there was some sort of exclusivity about the chrome bases, but, you know, I don't really care about that. They look cool, but I really don't have any preference. Another handful out of the box, and we have one duplicate. We have another Agan Kohler, so I guess that's cool. We have Shock T with her force push arm here, and we have Darth Vader. This is actually Darth Vader because even though he looks just like Anakin, he is now Darth Vader because he killed younglings with his lightsaber. Ultimately, it's pretty cool just to get all these different variations. Like maybe somebody would prefer the long-range Anakin over the close-range. Doesn't really matter, but I'm just trying to get as many ATTACKTIX as I can to have a really nice collection so that I can actually play the game, you know? The more diversification of characters and you know, types of combat, the more fun it will be, the more diverse game types you can play. Ooh, and we even got the beginner's guide, the quick start guide to how to play the game. Very useful. Definitely something I will reference when I plan to play. I forgot you were supposed to write your name on the back of these. So all these figures that have a little white space in the back, that's where you're supposed to put your name. And I don't think I ever put my name. Well, maybe I did. It seems like there's some writing there on this figure that's mine from my childhood, so I probably did at one point have my name on there, and it's just rubbed off over all these years. But yeah, there we go. Let's see any. I'm just kind of looking here. Right there you can see the Commander Gree with the blue markings, the concept Commander Gree. That's one figure I definitely want to track down. Eventually, we'll see. And the rest are just... oh, there we go. This is what I was hoping for. classic old school style, like, pamphlet. So you got all these different characters, Count Dooku, Sidious, General Grievous. You know, this is the cool stuff. This is when toys were cool and you got these kinds of little pamphlets so that you could see all the different figures that you had to go beg your parents to buy you, basically. And there it is right there. That's the Padme that I had. The ridiculous Padme that was pregnant and in combat for some reason. Then we have Commander Bly up there. That's just Devis, but he's named Commander Bly. And then we have Blue Commander Grieve for whatever reason. And then finally we have the Clone Sergeant, which is really just the 442nd Clone Trooper. I think that's quite interesting. Also, all these darts are see-through, so I don't know if these are like 3D renderings. They almost look like they are, but if these are actually like early test prints, maybe they started with clear plastic darts and had to switch to the solid colors later. It would have been really cool to see them as transparent darts just because that adds to like the laser effect. Oh, and there's even more on this flip side. We have the ATRT. That's another one I really want. We have the Clone Commander. We have the Clone Lieutenant. These two are... We'll see those later in just a second. We have... Oh, I can't forget this. We have Newt Gunray, but he's got the gat. He's got the blaster, man. Newt Gunray about to go blast some people. I don't know. That's just... It's a little ridiculous. It's kind of like Bail Organa. Like, why did you give them a blaster? It makes no sense. All right, so we're on to the last few figures. I got a couple extra darts here. Basically just dumped out the rest of the box. We've got Boba Fett, which you might think, where's his blaster? What does he shoot? Oh, man, he's got his rocket launcher, and that can actually fire. I'm not going to do it, but yeah, he basically just bends over and shoots his missile out of his back. This is the actual rocket-firing Boba Fett, the one that's worth, you know, $600,000 or whatever. I actually really do like this gimmick, though. It's kind of fun, and even though it doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually a reference to that, it is kind of still a fun reference to the old Kenner figures. You know, this is actually the rocket-firing Boba Fett. It's pretty cool. I actually like this just for the gimmick of it, just bending over and firing the rocket like this. Next up, we have the Clone Commander, and again, this is just Devis. We also have a version of this where it is Commander Bly, because Commander Bly originally was Devis, and you know, it's a whole thing, but this is a cool figure. Obviously, it's just a you know, repaint of this one, but it's nice to have two variations of them now, officially. Then we have Chief Chirpa, the Ewok. I think he had a boulder that he, like, flung or something. He had some sort of gimmick. Unless he's just twerking. I don't know, man. He's kind of got... I don't know. No comment on his dump truck that he has going on there, but... Yeah, otherwise he just has no real purpose because I don't think that this... I just don't think that that's a very effective attack. So there's Chief Chirpa, whatever. And then finally here, well, second to last, but kind of finally, we have this guy, the Clone Lieutenant, which is a Phase 2 Clone Trooper with Lieutenant stripes. And interestingly enough, if you watched my concept art Clone Trooper video, again, I'll try and tag it up here, this guy is actually labeled as the Utapau Trooper in... concept art. So this guy was originally what Commander Cody would be commanding, would just be this guy, a Clone Lieutenant, but with Phase 2 armor. And then ATTACKTIX actually made a red version of this figure, called it the Clone Captain, and it makes me wonder if there's concept art out there somewhere where it's this guy, but red. Because I don't think Hasbro would have made up that design, especially not in 2005, when really they were just basing everything off of Revenge of the Sith. So, again, very curious, very interesting. I love that this is on a chrome base. It just makes it so much more unique because I love the ATTACKTIX line for its use of concept clones. Clones that we never got in the 3 3/4 inch line, we somehow got in ATTACKTIX. It makes no sense, but I absolutely love it. And finally, the thing that really got me excited about buying this lot is, of course, this. The Tartakovsky Clone Wars Gunship. This is a vehicle. I don't really know how it is used in play, but it can detach from the base with this little, like, you know, retractable cord, and I think it has certain movements that it can do, you know, so much distance from the base, depending upon the length of this cord. Then it can come back and land. It's just so cool. I mean, it's the Tartakovsky Gunship as part of the ATTACKTIX game. what's not to like? I love the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, obviously, so having this as part of the collection, as well as something I can use in the game, is just really awesome. But that is where we're going to wrap this video up. I just wanted to talk about these guys. I'm really excited to play this game and just have fun with all of these. I will be trying to track down more of them. Obviously, I want more of the Clone Trooper variations. Hopefully, I'll be able to find all of those. But yeah, there you go. Let me know which one is your favorite. What's your favorite ATTACKTIX? Even if you don't see it here, which figure was your favorite from the ATTACKTIX line if you had them as a kid or whatever. But as always, down in the description, link to my Instagram. If you want to follow me over there, I do toy photography. I post toy updates. Just have a lot of fun over there. So you can follow me over there. Link in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever, the YouTube things, you know. But more importantly than that, have a wonderful evening, noon, or night, depending on when you're watching this video. And as always, I will catch you all in the next video. You underestimate my power. I guess not really. I mean, you're not really underestimating anything there. That's not that much power there, Anakin. Sorry.